Morning guys, today we're at Trax Moto Husqvarna and I wanted to introduce you to two intrepid explorers that we've met. Morning guys, how's it going?
Morning Glenn.
Jean Cooper and David Oosthuizen. David, believe it or not, David Oosthuizen, can you hear the name? Is from Australia. No, I'm joking, he's a Boertjie, but he lives across there.
Okay, I'm Jean Cooper. I'm a psychologist in Pretoria. I work mainly with business people, so execs of companies, corporates, and I'm 46 years old, and it's time. I'm in the middle of my life, and they say the second half of life is to find meaning in things, so we're gonna have the adventure of our lives, something that I've been dreaming of for many years, but always one of things, there's not enough money, etc., etc. But once we made the decision, we realized it's actually possible. We're gonna also do some good while we are at it by raising funds for a project in Free State.
Hi, I'm David Oosthuizen. I'm 46 years old. I think one of my kids made me 47. I'm a medical doctor working in emergency in Australia, born and bred in South Africa. John told me about this adventure expedition of his and I couldn't say no. Very similar, at a stage in life where I can actually afford the time off to be able to do it. I like riding motorbikes, I like seeing new places, and the added benefit bonus of helping people and me just makes this a no-brainer.
Boys, you are off on an epic adventure, am I right?
Indeed.
Okay, what's the plan? Give me just a rough outline. You've called it Expedition H20, and from what I understand, your mission in life is to put together JoJo tanks and things for underprivileged areas in the Free State. Is that correct?
Yes, so the money that we are raising goes for a foundation that installs rainwater tanks in small townships in the Free State where they don't have running water. That project has been going on for a couple of years, and when we heard about it, it was just inspiring because it's a story of local people making a plan where they feel that the government isn't coming to the party. And
well, that's just about all of us, isn't it, really, at the end of the day? But some of us are able to work around it and others just aren't.
Yeah, some people just don't have the opportunity to work around it, and this is a great initiative to kind of pitch in and help out.
Yeah, and I think something for the two of us as well. We are aware that it's quite a privilege to do something like this.
Yeah.
And so the project also gives us the opportunity to kind of share the privilege with people that struggle to do things.
That's
like
brilliant.
this.
So, guys, tell me a little bit. We're going to give a little bit of information out now. You guys are planning on heading up the west coast of Africa. You start from South Africa next week, Saturday, from the Trax Motor dealership in Silver Lakes, and from there, where do you go? Botswana?
Yeah, from here out, Zeerust, Botswana, Namibia, Angola, and then up north.
And then up you go.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, eh? Have you worked out total distance of your trip so far?
Works at about 16,000, 17,000 k's, depending on how much we zigzag and what roads is open or not.
All right.
But the Google distance is about 16,000, 17,000.
So 17,000 kilometers with the Kukulurs, we call it 18,000 k's. And your plan is to end in
Madrid, Spain.
Boys, we've discussed your route all the way up the West Africa coastline. Sounds fantastic. As you mentioned a little bit earlier, you're going to try and stay as close to the coast as you possibly can.
Yeah, Africa is an interesting place, and politics can change overnight, as we've seen with Gabon and Nigeria. We plan on hugging the coast all the way up. Gabon closed down, but lucky for us, it's opened up again. Depending on how things go, we'll keep an eye on the news, and we've got some contacts back here at the Department of, what's it called?
Dirko.
Yeah. So we've got some contacts here that might be able to give us a bit of an idea of what to expect and what's going on. But essentially, we'll have to make it up as we go, because we don't know what's going to happen where.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place, interesting politics, interesting times.
And change is constant. That's what it is.
What's happening right now, or the way things are now, may not be the way we wake up tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
And I think, if you sit here and you watch the news, and base your decision on whether you're going to go into countries on the news, then you can just as well stay.
Yeah, you may as well just sit at home and watch TV.
Yeah,
Sit at home and watch the news.
Exactly. We'll be on the ground, talk to people on the ground, truck drivers coming from the front, and get advice on how things are going.
Listen, that's a great idea. They have an ear to the ground. They know exactly what's going on. Boys, I'm going to ask you another question. The choice of motorcycle, you bought 2 Norden Explorers from the guys at Trax Moto. Why Norden?
Okay, I'll start this one. So I used to ride a BMW GS 1200.
Yes.
And I just found it to be a little bit heavy for me, especially when you drop the bike and you have to figure out to get the bike back up again, etc.
Yeah.
So I then decided to go to a mid-sized motorbike, and I rode the previous Norden, the standard Norden, for about a year, all across the country. I think I put about 30,000 k's on it. And when I heard about the new one coming out, I immediately sent Trax WhatsApp saying, this new bike I want to buy, I'm going to ride it all the way to Europe, and that's what we're doing.
But just because it's good looking, or because?
No, it's more off-road capable in terms of the trucks, for instance, and it is good looking.
Listen,
it's made for adventure riding.
It is,
it's
yeah.
specifically set up for it, for what we want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done the minimum amount of work on it, other than changing the seat, put an extra air filter in there. And otherwise, it's pretty much standard.
Guys, I was under the impression that because you bought the Husqvarna Expedition, you decided to call it the H20 Expedition. Is that good comment?
Yeah, well, that's part of it. It works.
Let's roll with it.
So it all worked in. So that's the actual reason that you bought the Norden, because it was called the Expedition. It matched what you're up to. Give us an idea of the kind of preventative stuff that you're going to be carrying with you on the journey.
You go.
Okay, so first we changing from the normal seat to the rally seat, so that there's space for a pre-air filter to fit underneath the seat, so we can keep the air filter clean.
Yeah.
And we take spare air filters with us so that we can clean them, wash them every day, and make sure that we have a clean air filter. Then we also have a fuel filter that we will use to put in fuel, so we can keep all the debris, but also
you mean
water.
the fuel filter at the top, going into top. Okay, I'm with you. Yes.
So in many places the fuel won't be clean.
Yeah.
So trying to filter that out. Then chain maintenance. So every day after the ride, clean and loop the chain. So we're trying to be as preventative as possible, so we don't have big breakdowns. Our whole philosophy is to carry as little as possible. We can't carry for every as if there's something big, we'll arrange for parts to be shipped to us to the closest city.
And the nice thing about the Norden as well, it's tubeless tires. So you just carry a valve kit with you or whatever, and that should, unless you have a big one, it should be fine to repair as you go.
We take that, but we do take an extra tube as well in case.
Yeah, sometimes it's not fixable.
Yeah, the majority.
And have you practiced doing the wheels? That's the next question.
We've had a go here.
You're a medical doctor. I've seen you in action. I wonder if it's a good idea.
Well, you don't know what I can do with my hands, do you? But adding on to what John was saying, the majority of the stuff that we're taking with us is consumable stuff that you know is going to run off, like brake pads.
Yes.
So we're taking additional brake pads, stuff that if you do have a fall, like we're taking one clutch lever, a brake lever, and stuff. Just
between the lot of you,
between the two bikes, and given that we have two bikes, which is the same, hopefully it makes it a little bit easier.
That's
but
good.
as John's saying, if we can prevent stuff from breaking down, anticipating it, then that's better than taking the whole kitchen sink.
It's half the battle one year. I've seen guys carrying wheels and tires, and it steals the fun, doesn't it?
True, but we're also very, very fortunate with Trax here, being willing to kind of ship stuff and courier stuff up to where if we do run into trouble.
So you've got pre-designated spots where. So I would imagine from Joburg, or from Pretoria out to, I would guess, the beginning of Angola, you'd be running sort of normal 70-30 tires. From there, I would imagine you need to change up to something that's a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and on a journey like this, we're saying what, 3 to 4 sets of tires?
Well, let's say if we go on the Pirellis with which the bikes come out, if we start with them to Luanda, then get the EO9s shipped to us there, and then those will I think they will last us through the mud, because it's going to be quite rainy and muddy in the Congo.
You've chosen an interesting time of the year to go
Yeah,
do this,
no.
And it's going to be hot, boys.
We're
Sure.
going to be wet.
Yeah,
And hot.
yeah.
Maybe until, I think we'll be able to go with those days until Ghana, where we have friends again, and we can ship new tires there as well.
Yeah.
The fortunate thing is, I mean, there are some major cities along the coast that you can get stuff to.
Yeah.
It'll take about a week, 10 days or so to get stuff in there, but if you can anticipate, the tires looks like it's going, we can talk to tracks here and they can start
Phone
packaging
ahead
stuff.
and get it all running.
Yeah, and also get a bit of an idea of where things are, because if we're going through them and we're kind of rubbing them off like nothing, then we'll have to plan on getting stuff a little bit sooner.
No, that's cool. Guys, what's your estimated distance per day that you're planning on traveling? I mean, I know it's very important, and then are you putting in rest days in between, which is also something that you need to perhaps look at, because incessant travel and not actually enjoying your surroundings isn't that great.
Yeah, so the calculation that we made up front, which we know is only a theoretical calculation, but we calculated based on 300 k's per day, and every fourth day nothing.
Nice.
Which gives us scope for some days we can go further than that, other days we'll struggle
Yeah.
to even do half of that.
And what's the timeline you've given for this adventure? When do you plan to be back home?
I keep on saying I'd like to be back by Christmas, but
Yeah.
about 3 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 3 months of travel. Your plan when you arrive there, what's going to happen to the bike? So you're going to fly home, or you're going to say, hey, that was great, let's try it back again?
We're still figuring it out. As we get different, the quotes we got for shipping them back, I'm now told that those were way too high, so I'm trying to get new quotes. The other option is to sell them there, but I'm also realizing the paperwork and export, just to get the exporting done legally, before you can even think of importing it on that side, is a whole administrative rigmarole, which I don't think we're going to do the export thing in the 5 days we have left.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that we'll figure out. We have 3 months to think about
You'll
that.
figure it out. Well, you can go and sell your bikes for euros. Just take the papers with you. You
Well,
might make a profit, because motorbikes in South Africa are cheaper than anywhere else in the world.
That's
You
true.
might get Rian into trouble though, because he'll be accused of exporting motorbikes to foreign countries.
The admin paperwork for selling it with excise and all of that stuff is just utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
So to be totally honest, as we're sitting here, we have not made a final decision. It's probably most likely that we'll try and ship them back if we can get a decent.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody else there that has got a good contact with shipping
There
bikes
we
from
go.
Spain,
That's the
please-
way you do it. Any shipping companies, come on, they need to get their bikes back up there. They can't give you a date or a time or anything, but yeah, come on.
Or any South African who wants to fly up to Spain, buy our bike
And ride back down
ride
again.
it back down.
Okay, Rihanna and I are in. By then I'll be allowed to ride. I hope my wife's not watching this video, but I will be. Yeah, we in. We'll ride them back for you.
And if
Okay.
there's a company that's interested, you'll get a sticker on the bike as well.
All right. How cool is that, hey? Boys, what an undertaking. Your aim is to raise how much money?
3.2 million.
3.2, and you're on 350 grand so far without riding 1 kilometer. That's not bad, hey? How do people get involved? You got a Back a Buddy page.
Yes, so on our website we have a link to Back a Buddy, and then on the website people can also follow us through LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
etc. So on the Back a Buddy crowdfunding platform, people can make donations there. The way we calculated it is we said, well, let's say it's 16,000 Ks and we get 200 rands per kilometer.
Yeah.
We get to our target of 3.2 million.
And how many tanks does that buy?
100 tanks.
Buys 100 tanks.
Yeah, 105,000 litre tanks. And
Okay.
How we do it in the townships is 1 tank gives water to 12 families.
Yes.
So it's spread out through the township. So those 100 tanks give water to almost 5,000 people, 4,800.
It's an amazing undertaking. And I believe that Jojo came on board and they donated, what was it, 17 tanks straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
What a pleasure, hey? Nice crowd of people.
Yeah.
If there's a South African company that's as good as you think, Creepy Crawly, South African. Jojo Tank, South African. Toolcraft Tools, South African. Trax Motor, sorry.
Trax Motors is South African.
100%. Listen, boys, we will try to keep in touch as we go along. Please do keep in, I'll give you my details. drop me a little WhatsApp here and there wherever you have signal with a little photo. We'll try and keep you guys up to date. The guys watching our channel, we'll try and post and keep these guys involved as much as we can. It's a great undertaking. And as you said earlier, where governments and things fail, civil society needs to step in. So it's a cool thing. It looks like a great big adventure. You're going to have a jewel, but I think it's going to be a big challenge as well. So good luck to the peer review. We'll post all the details up. Guys, you can go and follow them on Expedition, and then a minus sign, I don't know what it's called, h20.org, and keep up to date with what they're up to.
What we can do is we can provide all the links and all the handles.
Yes, I'll do the same.
And you're just going to put it.
I'll hyperlink it in for you guys. It's no final parting words, boys.
Oh, well.
And you're leaving, okay, let's put this in. You're leaving Trax Moto. What time on Saturday?
11 o'clock. Saturday.
11 o'clock Saturday morning at Trax Moto.
The 16th of September.
16th of September. You guys can come in. They make good coffee. We'll make sure there's biscuits, maybe even a Wors roll.
And bring your bike.
We're going to do Wors rolls. Yeah, we're going to do Wors rolls. Yeah, okay.
And bring your bike and you can ride the first.
You can ride the first leg.
We'll have a couple of people who's going to kind of see us off and ride.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Everyone's invited. And it doesn't matter what brand you ride. Come be a part of it. It's going to be awesome.